Cable Bahamas has always been considered the innovator.
People can have confidence in Cable Bahamas as a mobile operator because of our past history. We've proven to the Bahamian community that we are in fact able to manage additional services as a telecommunications company.
Customers expect the best from Cable Bahamas.
The technology that we bring is revolutionary technology because we know that the Bahamian public, they deserve it, and Cable Bahamas is here to bring it to them.
We are ready. Turn us on.
A Baha Mar board member suggests the Christie administration has taken sides. This as a former Cable Beach investor speaks out on the Baha Mar crisis. The agonizing search for 2 missing teen boys, plus a look at the way forward for BEC. We've got those stories and a whole lot more tonight. I'm Vonique Tude and NV12 starts now. Tonight, negotiations between Baha Mar and its Chinese partners in Beijing are not going well, according to a Baha Mar board member who says the situation is deteriorating and no one is budging. Businessman Dionisio D'Aguilar says China Construction America believes it has the upper hand. He also accused the Christie administration of taking sides.
Well, I think it's no secret that the talks are not going well.
Despite government's decision to rejoin Baha Mar talks in Beijing, China, Baha Mar board member Dionisio D'Aguilar asserted today the situation appears to be deteriorating. Attorney General Allison Maynard Gibson returned to China over the weekend for another round of talks. D'Aguilar called it a good move, but suggested the Christie administration has taken China Construction America's side.
What has been reported in the press gives one the impression that the government is certainly making overtures to them and is certainly making an effort or going out of its way to be kind and generous to them and to make them feel as if, yes, we, the Bahamian government, are on your side. Make the deal. And I think that's the wrong approach.
In a letter dated July 23rd, Baha Mar CEO Sarkis Merlian said the company and its Chinese partners were no closer to a solution. He requested 50-50 financing from China Exim Bank for a $400 million new senior facility to fund the completion of the stalled project. However, China Construction America has charged that it has a firm binding contract to serve as the general contractor for the multi-billion-dollar project. D'Aguilar says the Bahamas government holds the sway, but only appears to be putting pressure on Baha Mar to make a deal.
It seems as if China State is hardening its position, and often Baha Mar feels that it's negotiating with itself. I'm glad that the government is there. The position of Baha Mar is if the government put as much pressure on China State as it's been putting on Baha Mar to make a deal, then we would have a deal. But it seems as if China State feels in its mind, just by their emboldened negotiating position, that the government is on their side and they're going to win this at the end of the day. And so they're not minded to move forward.
D'Aguilar says Baha Mar feels it has made substantial concessions and is negotiating in good faith. However, he told NB12 today, CCA appears to be waiting Baha Mar out until Friday when Supreme Court Justice Ian Winder will hear the winding up petition filed by the Attorney General.
Baha Mar's position is quite clear. They have conceded a lot. They've decided to They're prepared to give up the Chapter 11. They've agreed to withdraw the lawsuit. They've agreed to come up with $100 million. They've made a lot of concessions to make this deal happen. And the China State have made every attempt to wiggle out of hard, concrete financial contributions and hard and concrete deadlines.
Baha Mar filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the U.S. District of Delaware on June 29th. Government is now seeking the appointment of provisional liquidators to manage Baha Mar's affairs in hopes of getting the stalled project completed and operational. However, the Baha Mar board member questioned that move and warned that any attempt to eliminate the developer would slow the project down, not speed it up.
So that's why I think it's important to keep him on board. Also, the uncertainty of getting rid of the developer, yes, he has to have an agreement with his contractor, but he has a whole host of other agreements with hotel operators, with restaurant operators, with casino managers, and all of these agreements could evaporate when you take the company into provisional liquidation. So I think it's very, very important that the government not rush to judge, which I think they have done, and that they step back and see who really is working in the best interests of the Bahamian people.
While acknowledging that the current Baha Mar crisis is not his fight, former owner of the Cable Beach properties, Phil Ruffin, told the Nassau Guardian's National Review he always thought the multi-billion-dollar Baha Mar project was too big for the Bahamas and was not surprised to learn the developer is seeking bankruptcy protection. Ruffin, who sold the Crystal Palace and Nassau Beach properties to Baha Mar CEO Sarkis Merlian more than a decade ago, said he never believed it would work because it was too grandiose to ever really have a chance. Ruffin also questioned the developer's decision to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in Delaware, but added the matter is now in good hands with Prime Minister Perry Christie. In other news, the search for two Florida teens who went missing at sea on Friday continues. The teenage boys were reportedly en route to the Bahamas in a 19-foot single-engine boat, which was found yesterday. Simone Davis spoke with the mother of one of the missing boys and has this report.
Not a doubt in my mind. I mean, Austin knows what he's doing. Austin and Perry have been around the water for a long time. This isn't new to them.
That was Carly Black, the mother of Austin Stephanos, who's missing at sea along with Perry Cohen. Black says she's very hopeful that Austin and Perry are alive and okay, and she knows that they will return home soon. They were last seen getting gas in the Jupiter area and later vanished. According to authorities, the avid boaters were reported missing on Friday after they left Jupiter, Florida that morning for a fishing trip on their 19-foot single-vessel engine. That vessel was found capsized on Sunday with no trace of the 14-year-old boys. Black said she knew something was wrong when she noticed the rough seas and no calls from her son, who usually checks in every 2 hours.
This isn't out of the ordinary for him. He does this daily, and I thought it was any other day. I mean, I would see him by sundown, but he checks in every 2 hours, and he hadn't checked in, and that's when I knew something was wrong.
Cohen and Stephanos are both licensed boaters. Black said Stephanos was certified at the age of 10, which is the legal age to attain a boater's license in Florida. Reports surfaced that the boys Snapchatted photos with the caption "Bahamas bound." Black says she doesn't believe that they were actually in the Bahamas, but just showing off. She later added that the family takes frequent trips to the Bahamas, but Austin has never been on his own.
I don't believe he went to the Bahamas. I believe what I think at this point is that he went out fishing. He got caught in the storm. I'm not sure where the boat capsized. Did you guys know that? Mm-hmm. Okay, the boat capsized, it drifted, the boys are drifting. They have a big Yeti cooler with them, and there was life jackets on board. There was a picture on Snapchat, it said Bahamas bound. It didn't have land or anything like that on it. I think that they might have been talking, these 14-year-old boys, they were trying to, show off. They're going offshore, talking big game to their friends, but I honestly, these boys know they need passports. They know they need, to clear customs. They've done this. This isn't, like I said, it's not new to them.
U.S. Coast Guard officials reported via social media that the search for the boys has now covered 26,000 nautical square miles. Black confirmed that the families and their communities have raised $100,000 to reward anyone who finds Perry Cohen and Austin Stephanos. Austin's two younger brothers also wanted to share this message with anyone who can help find their big brother.
How do you miss Austin?
A lot.
Yeah?
A lot.
Is he a good big brother?
Mm-hmm.
And what would you like to tell everyone to help you find him?
I just want everyone to help find my brother, and I like that all the people from all the shows that you guys have been doing. It has been so nice that they're offering private jets and going out on the boats and going looking. Just makes me so happy.
Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.
Amid concerns over possible redundancies at the Bahamas Electricity Corporation once PowerSecure officially takes over, BEC's General Manager Kevin Baston addressed the way forward for the corporation today. Dana Smith tells us more.
Basden said he believes the restructuring of the corporation and its employees will have to take place, though he added no specific plans have been finalized.
Well, the restructuring is something that obviously will have to take place. The question is the degree of restructuring, but restructuring is something that is needed and has been needed for a long time.
In announcing the new transitional agreement between BEC and PowerSecure, the latter company sidestepped discussions on whether BEC's staff would be restructured, only offering that the matter is being studied. This as the union representing BEC's line staff said redundancies may not be as drastic as some might think. Although acknowledging the corporation's workforce should be restructured, Basden could not provide specifics as to who would be let go or how many, explaining he did not want to preempt PowerSecure's plans for the corporation.
Plans have not been finalized at this point in time, and I don't think we would want to try and preempt what may or may not happen. I think the company needs to be given an opportunity to put whatever is on the table. Right now, there is a lot of speculation out there, but until we see the final plan, we cannot comment definitively as to what they will or will not do.
Basden also addressed government's goal to reduce the cost of electricity by 40% compared to 2012 rates. He explained some things need to happen first to improve overall efficiency at BEC.
There are any number of things that need to continue. Looking at more efficient generators, looking at the fuel source, just the overall efficiency and improvement of the operations, and to be able to run the business like a business. So there are any number of steps from our perspective that we feel can take place to improve the operations.
PowerSecure's Chief Revenue Officer, Ronnie Brainin, had said government's target is theoretically tenable, but may not come as swiftly as desired. He explained to Guardian Business, although the company is evaluating how to reduce electricity costs within a reasonable time frame, it remains cautious on an exact path forward for the company. Reporting for NB12, I'm Dana Smith.
You're watching the best in Bahamian news. There's more when NB12 returns.